Imagine a group of Americans leaving their busy city lives for a trip to Ghana, a lively and welcoming country in West Africa. They explore the bustling cities, beautiful nature, and powerful history. This isn't just a vacation, it's a life-changing experience. The group lands in Accra, Ghana's capital. The city is full of energy, delicious food like jollof rice, and lively music. Accra welcomes them with kindness and sets the stage for their adventure.
Hello everyone, my name is Norwood. I am from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I have been in the U.S. military, specifically the Navy, for 7 years. And my expectations before coming to Ghana were just these very larger than life, even in terms of the people and the city. And so when I landed and now we're actually standing here, feet on the ground in the space, it is so exciting to be around how lively the people are. I'm super happy to be here and experience all that.
This is where we are from. As Black people, this is it. And so how do we as a people, once you come, what do you want to do next? What are some of the ideas that you have? Because when you come here, you will see that there's so many opportunities. Yes, we have our challenges. Every country has its challenges. But if you come and you see the opportunities, then you can think about how you can do something, whether it's set up a business, whether it's partnering with somebody, investing in a small business. You can also look at things that you're doing in the US. If you're in healthcare, how can you impact healthcare here? If you're in IT, how can you impact IT here? Housing, whatever it is, there's a scope of things that you can do. Document everything and go back and share your story with others so that they can come and see. It's really, really important that people come and see. We can't shout out enough, but our people need to come back home. And I'm so glad that you've made the journey back home. Thank you so much.
Sorry to admit, but I've always had a negative view because that's what I was taught and that's what I went with, that they don't have much, that everybody is poor over here, there's no riches, they don't work together. And me coming over here, I actually see the opposite. Well, I learned that there's way more riches than I ever knew, and to see all the people working together, even with the driving, I was amazed how people would get out of the way if they're trying to go around. You don't get that in the States. They may speed up to even stop you from going around. But just the love here, the friendliness, the love of culture, the love of themselves, of the race, it was great to experience. Because I have to tell you, being over in America, not that we don't love our race, but, do I say we're lost? I don't want to say lost, even though I'm saying it, because this is home. And I realized that, I learned that this is home and that we need to know the true history of our people.
I'm really excited to go experience Aburi Gardens with Goba Tours and Go Travel Chick specifically. So far, experienced the Ghana tour, it's very eye-opening. Seeing how the culture differences here makes me wonder, what else am I missing out on in life,
Today is a beautiful day, isn't it? Yeah, so it is good that you came here. For that matter, you're going to see things that you've not seen before. You will hear things you've not heard before. Our old people say that if you sit at one place, you will marry your own brother. And that is why learning has a lot to offer than fasting. Every day we learn, the key to rest is learning. People who travel, they don't easily become angry. Every learner is successful, so you're not only here to look at trees, but to also learn one or two things. That's why you're here today. This is Aburi Botanic Gardens, the only botanical gardens in Ghana. It is among the 1,600 botanic gardens across the world. It was established by the British in the year 1890. It covers a total land area of 160 acres. That's the size of the park. The garden has its main activities, which includes horticulture training, scientific research, plants multiplications, environmental education, and then managing natural reserves. That's the main activities of this botanic garden. So we have 1,500 species of different plants in this botanic garden. So we are going to walk around for 45 minutes, so you will see those species that we have here. All right, so we will go up here so that we see the trees. All right. Yeah, so this is the parasite tree. The actual tree is the hole inside that you see. Can you see that? The parasite took 30 years to squeeze the host and kill it. 30 years. From 1906 to 1936, it successfully strangled the host. So the parasite has become a tree on its own. So what you're going to do, you will go inside, look straight up, and then you come out. You are not to climb, but to look up and come out. Palm trees from Florida, 1895 they were planted, 129 years old. Royal palm trees from Florida. The same palms you saw at the main entrance when you were coming inside, right? Good. So these are the palms you see here. Please, can you see the building here? This is one of the colonial buildings. This is over 200 years old. The slave bosses used to hide in this house those days, and then they used to they travel from here to Elmina castles to work back in the days. From here to that place is 100 kilometers. So those guys will travel to go and make sure they put things in the right place. Then they will travel back to hide on the mountain. This is the house. They were afraid of being attacked by some tribes. That's why they were hiding. So they came to put this treasure here. Nobody knows where they were hiding. This is the place. And that's the summer hut. Can you see that? Good. So this is over 200 years old. Look at the paint. That is the original paint. Everything is still intact.
Hello, my name is Tesla White, and I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I'm here at Aburi Gardens. I learned so much today on this experience. We looked at different trees and learned about different spices. I would like to use this opportunity to thank Gooba Tours and Go Travel Chick for this amazing experience.
Hi, my name is Dorinda Kay. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. I am here at the waterfall. I have just taken 99 steps down to the beautiful waterfall. As you can see, it was very exhausting for me, of course, with all the sweat, but it is a beautiful scenery. I have to take the 99 steps back up, but it'll be well worth it. I have enjoyed myself here in Ghana.
My perspective of Ghana and what I have seemed to be most impressed with is the unification of the indigenous people. I love that everyone wants to help each other, and it was just the unity. I noticed that at each location that we went to. So the perspective of unification has, it's just been awesome watching on this journey while we've been here.
Today, our journey takes us to Peninsula Resort, where we are headed to the suspension bridge, but we are taking a hike. We're halfway there. I feel pretty amazing, but I think that's because I prepare for this. This is what I do. This is what I do. But once we get to the top, we will see an amazing view, and then we'll be able to walk across the bridge. I'm excited. You ever had something that was so, or looked so impossible, and then you just went for it? That's what we did today at the canopy walk at Peninsula Resort. It looked impossible. Some people didn't even want to do it, but they did it anyway. It was incredible. It was so worth it. And now I can check it off my list, and you should do it. You should be here.
My experience today was honestly amazing. The hike wasn't too bad, but it was at the same time kind of slippery with all the rocks and leaves, but it still wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad hike, truly. And once you make it to the top, it's a beautiful view. Beautiful, actually. You could sit there and just stare into the distance. And once we got to the bridge, that was kind of scary, just a tad bit, I ain't gonna lie. It was shaking, rocking left, right, left, right.
I have just taken my first horse ride here at the Peninsula. There's a lot of activities that go on here. It's a beautiful place. So I haven't had a horse ride since I was probably 10, and I'm over 60 now. So it was a wonderful ride. The activities, the food, everything is excellent here at the Peninsula. If you get a chance, come out and try it. You'll have a good time.
Hi, I'm Twana here at the Peninsula in Ghana. I'm here for my birthday. I've had a wonderful time here, relaxing. Some have taken a hike and had excellent food, just enjoying my birthday at the Peninsula. And if you get the chance, you should come too and celebrate your birthday. Now, I have ridden a horse before. I was reminded of the things that I learned. So excellent horse ride, plenty of things to do. Come on out.
May the spirits of our lost ancestors rest in perfect peace. Ashin. An awareness of our past is essential to the establishment of our personalities and our identities as Africans. I shall be your guide here at the Assin Manso Ancestral Riverside, the place where our ancestors, who were held in the chains and shackles as captives, had their last bath before they were sold to buyers to be taken to the dungeons and eventually shipped out of the land to the New World. An awareness of our past is essential to the establishment of our personalities and our identities as Africans. That's echoed from Emperor Haile Selassie. From Marcus Messiah Garvey Jr., actually borrowed by Bob Marley. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery, none but ourselves can free our minds. From this land, among the people of Benin, Togo, and Ghana, we have this common African proverb we stated: until the tales of the hunt is told by the lions, the hunt will always glorify the hunters. In context, all I'm trying to say today is that as Africans, we are struggling to tell our own narratives. We are struggling to put our history across, and it's not because we don't have them. We have absolutely everything it takes for us to tell the history. We have it to teach them in the schools, but unfortunately the people thought our history is critically racial. A very long time ago, we lived on a very big vast land. The oldest known name of this continent was Akebulan. The word Akebulan came from Kemet in Egypt, which means land of humanity. Mother of all creation, some say it is the Garden of Eden. Prior to the Europeans' arrival here, that was the name. When the ancestors lived here, at a point in time, they fought among themselves for territorial expansion. And due to that, they had victims of wars. The victims at that time were never being enslaved. Rather, they were being inducted, integrated into various cultures. Africans practiced a system that's far different from slavery. The system was indentured servitude. But for some reason, you raise the topic of slavery and people jump into a defense mode. Oh, the Africans were practicing slavery before we got there. So I asked them, what form of slavery were the Africans practicing when you got here? If they fought themselves, what they did was to bring them into the land. You are now becoming part of us, integrated and placed into various roles. Probably you are a good fighter, but then during the war, your people didn't help. So then, we overpowered you. But that doesn't mean that you will never be a fighter. They will have to induct you into the military of the ones who conquered you. Train you to be part of us. And in that is an agreement. 10 years, 7 years, you are free. While serving, you could own your own properties. As a healer, maybe you use the plants and all that. We will induct you into our land. You will learn our plants and use it in a way that we use it. So you'll be part of the practitioners, those who practice medicine. Those who are good at farming were working on the farm. So we bring them all together to create a kingdom. None were in chains and shackles. None were being starved. They were not treated less of a human. Tell me about slavery. Do slaves have privileges? Do they have rights? Let's take it to the children. Children born into slavery, what were they called? Slaves and properties. Good. This was never practiced by our ancestors. The children are free, they are their own entities. That was the system we practiced. By the year 1400, the Portuguese sailed across oceans to this land. When they came into this land, the very first thing they did was to change the name from Akebulan to Africa. The word Africa, according to historians, came from a Latin word Africa, and the word simply means sunny, the sun. From the Greek origin, it's Afrik, which means a land without cold or a place of heat. But then the West African storytellers, the historian, the griots here in Africa, believe the true meaning of the word Africa came from the word Afra or Afri. And then she is the goddess of the sun, and that makes Africans her children. So Africa means children or people of the sun. As Africans, you've realized that God has blessed us with absolutely everything. The most important and expensive thing He has given us is this. He gave us this freely of charge. The melanin in us actually allows a percentage of the sun into our system, helping us to heal, grow, and glow. That's why this name was given.
I am here at the Ancestral graveyard. We just went down to the bath of return and was able to put my feet into the water and felt something that overcame me from my ancestors, who I had believed that something else had happened with them before I realized that they were actually shackled down and held against their will, and they had been beaten. And it was just a lot of history for me today. It's emotional for me because of my parents who had also lived through this, my grandparents, and the story never was really told, and I'm learning a lot of history today about my ancestors, and I am really grateful and appreciative of everything that I've learned just today about my ancestors. It gives me greater appreciation of what my grandparents went through that I never knew, and this has just really been a touching moment for me, and I'm so grateful that I made it here to Ghana to experience the history of my ancestors, of my grandparents, and so forth. I've learned so much truth about the history of us as Black people.
There have been several important parts, but the one that stands out the most for me is the Cape castles, or dungeons. It's really not castles for us. Because I'm a history buff, I've been doing a lot of studying of Black history, culture, and thought I knew a lot. But when you actually come here and experience the dungeons, to walk in there, to see the limited space that they had, to see that to hear about them being chained up. I heard that they were chained up before, but to actually be down there, hear them talking about being chained up so close to each other, not really able to move, the women having to have their menstrual cycles right there amongst each other. So your menstrual cycle is coming down on the ground, other women, there's children there too, feces all on the ground, and it's just being compacted. And then you actually look down on the ground and you can still see that. It really hits home with you about how harsh it was for them being captured into slavery. But I always try to look at the bright side of things, so I also feel like, dang, we're strong people.
They didn't just keep men in here, they kept boys in these dungeons also, because when you look at the age range start from 11, 12, 13, 14 to a little over 45. So it also tells you that Africans were stolen away from here in their prime, not in their retirement or after retirement. The longest stays here was from 1 month to 3 months. The shortest stays was from 1 week to a month. This is the courtyard of the castle. This place was a graveyard for white people only, or for Europeans only. This is the only African, or the only Ghanaian, the Europeans buried among them. The name is Philip Kweku. He was a native of Cape Coast. He's no biracial person. He was born 1741. Age 11, Philip was sent to England, trained and educated at Oxford University. He graduated from Oxford 1765. He studied theology. He was ordained as a priest in London. He became the first black man to become a priest for the Church of England. He was returned to this place 1766 as a priest and a missionary. So let's look at the timeline. 1766, the peak of the trafficking of Africans. So an African led an all-European congregation upstairs. Downstairs, his fellow Africans were there in chains and in shackles. He did not say anything for the trafficking of Africans. He did not say anything against it. I can simply say that he was sent to England to be indoctrinated, brainwashed, reprogrammed so that he could come back home and lead his people to doom by doing his master's bit. So when he died, the British gave him a befitting burial among them. So through the door of no return, in chains and in shackles, all the captives were forced down to the shore. The water there is very shallow. So at the shore, they forced them on boat, and gradually they were forced on the ships. So that's how come we are saying that when you go through that door, you will not return. But we all use the door of return now.
I think I'm a little overwhelmed and not sure how to process this. We thought it was bad, y'all. It's worse than what we even imagined. So many men and women in the dungeons, all packed in together, no place to urinate or anything. It's the lies we were told is much worse than we even imagined. This trip was really needed because it's time to tell the truth. The story needs to be told. The lies need to stop. We need to know our truth and come back home to where we're meant to be.
My most memorable moment of the trip would be our trip to the W.E.B. Du Bois, his home. I really appreciated seeing how much dedication he had to his education and educating others, and his impact on a lot of the other leaders, especially African leaders, and his mentorship to Kwame Nkrumah.
You are welcome to the residence of W.E.B. Du Bois, William Edward Burkhart Du Bois. He was born on the 23rd of February 1868 in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. He was a historian, a Pan-Africanist, a sociologist, a civil rights activist, a teacher, and an author of many books. In 1960, he was invited by the first president, Dr. Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah, to be the chief editor of a document called the Encyclopedia Africana Dictionary of African Biography. This document is to educate and inform on the true facts about African history, culture, systems and practices of African societies, and also to unite all people of African descent. So in 1961, he came to Ghana, and he was 93 years old when he arrived in this house. Lived here for 2 years and died at 95. On the 27th of August 1963, the eve on the March on Washington, led by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he passed away in this very house. The whole house and the compound was a gift from the first president of Ghana to the family of Dr. Du Bois. The house consists of 7 rooms, and I'll be taking you through all of these rooms. In 1959, he visited China, and during his visit to China, he celebrated his 91st birthday. He was gifted this embroidery, the cane in the show glass over there, and the 2 scrolls to my left. The embroidery characterizes the life of Dr. Du Bois. The gray hair signifies old age. The scroll signifies wisdom. The cane is for leadership, the deer for peace, and the seeds for charity. He was an old man full of wisdom, a leader, a man of peace, and a very generous person. The first academic gown here is from the University of Ghana. He was given an honorary of letters in 1963 before he passed away. We have a picture at the top right to confirm that. And the black gown here is from Harvard. He was the first black man to have earned a PhD from Harvard University. The main reason why he came to Ghana at that old age, it was to edit 10 to 20 volumes of this document. And within the stay of 2 years in this house, he worked on 3 volumes out of what he was assigned. And the 3 volumes covers 8 countries on the continent. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah believed that in so many years to come, Africans will lose access to indigenous history. So they wanted to collect all of the information that was gathered over time. Also, it was Du Bois's dream to work on a document like this, called the Encyclopedia of the Negro. Du Bois also believed that there was no such thing as a cheap encyclopedia. So he tried so many times to raise funds for the project, and it failed. Nkrumah reaching out to him was an opportunity for him to achieve his dream. And that was why he came to Ghana at that old age. So we are in the office of his second wife, and that's a picture of her, Shirley Graham Du Bois. She was a musician, a dramatist, a playwright, a composer, a civil rights activist, a teacher in the later days of her life, and also an author. The packing cases that you are seeing are some of the cases he used to bring his books to Ghana. And because his books were shipped and he cared about them, he lined the cases with a foam so water does not ruin any of his books. So this is the final resting place of Dr. Du Bois. He was first buried in Usukre Castle before moved to this house in 1985 when the bungalow was transformed into a museum. We have him resting here. And in the box is the ashes of his second wife. Soil sample from the graveside of his first family and his hometown. We also have water in the middle. We believe that when someone is about to die and gets thirsty and asks for water, water should be given to that person. In the land of the dead, there is no water, and water will do the person halfway through his or her journey. He believed in that saying, but he never got the chance to drink his water because once again, he died in his sleep in this house the eve on the march on Washington. So we have his water resting there.
I have learned so much being here, so much information, so much rich information, just the philosopher that he was, the activism that he's done in the community. I've learned so much. All of the books that he has written just amazes me. One thing that really stood out to me is how books really can enrich our lives, and it's so much information that we're lacking that, you know, if we just take the time to just really educate ourselves and educate our community, it can really make a difference in this world. So thank you, W.E.B. Du Bois. I appreciate you. I want to continue your legacy as well.
Kwaba. Yes, Yadase. So my name is Kofi. So this is the memorial for the first president of Ghana. He was called Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame because he was born on a Saturday as a male. And the reason why we have the monument located on this space is that during our colonial era, this was where the British chose to play polo. So this used to be a polo field and meant for only the whites. Natives were not allowed in. So when Ghana was about to gain independence, in a way to kind of spite the British, he chose the same location where he gave his independence speech. So this is why the park is located on this particular space. So we call this area the Freedom Wall, and this monument is where Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is currently laid to rest. That is a mausoleum. And then we got two galleries on this other side as well. And we're going to go to where his statue is also built. In fact, where his statue is erected was exactly where he gave the independence speech, 6 March 1957. And at that time, Ghana was the first country south of the Sahara to gain its independence. So that was a big news globally and attracted some of the heavyweights of US civil rights to Ghana and these grounds. I am always happy to mention that Martin Luther King Jr. was part of the crowd here the night he gave the speech in 57. And then later we had Malcolm X coming to Ghana. Maya Angelou came. Louis Armstrong was here. And W.E.B. Du Bois lived here, as well as Muhammad Ali. The statue is pure bronze, and his posture means forward ever, backwards never. Now, Kwame Nkrumah was from the western part of Ghana, born on September 21st, 1909. And since 2009, his birth date has been part of our national public holidays to honor his memory. He had his early education around his hometown, but trained as a teacher in Accra before he later won a scholarship to come study in the US. So he came to Lincoln University, HBCU, in Pennsylvania State for his undergrad, where he studied economics, sociology, and theology. And like most black students too, he pledged. He was an active member of Phi fraternity at Lincoln University. So from Lincoln, University of Pennsylvania, where he got his master's degree, he read education and philosophy. After UPenn, back to Lincoln to teach in African history and languages. And even in the early part of 1945, he was also voted Professor of the Year at Lincoln University. But then late 1945, he left US altogether for his PhD in England. So went to London School of Economics. But whilst in England, he was someone who was always passionate on things to do with civil rights, liberation struggle, and Pan-Africanism. So got himself involved in any events like that. So he became so popular in London. Around the same moment, we had a political group formed back home to begin our independence struggle. And they were looking for a secretary, couldn't find one. And then they heard about Nkrumah. So some went to England, had discussions with him, and he was convinced to come back home to help the process. So he joined the group as their general secretary. But then a year and a half, he left that group and formed his own political party because he was very radical and believed in protest against the British. So whilst he was saying independence or self-government now through protest, his friends who were more elite were saying in the shortest possible time through negotiating. So he left the group and formed his own political party. And in all his attempts at helping us gain independence, the British colonial government sent him to jail twice as a political prisoner. But whilst in jail, people kept faith in him. Protests continued, so he could be released. That forced the English to organize our first local elections. And luckily for Kwame Nkrumah, even though he was in jail, they allowed his name to be on the ballot to contest. And that was only allowed because it was felt that was how to appease protesters outside. I never thought he could win, but to their surprise, he won from jail. Inspired and influenced independence across Africa. Became Prime Minister, but the Queen of England remained our head of state. Until July 1st, 1960, Ghana became Republic, and then he got sworn in as the first leader of Ghana. And in terms of political philosophy, he was a strong socialist and Marxist. Now, that form of government he also chose later made him fall out with some key Western countries. The US government, especially after Kennedy had died. So when LBJ took over, aid and support to Ghana were held back. That made him to look elsewhere for support. So he became closer to countries like Cuba, the Soviet Union, and China, the leading communist countries. So because of that, the US government later branded Kwame Nkrumah also a communist. And after most countries here had gained independence, he and some leaders helped to form our Continental Union. But later, they felt that having just a political union was not enough. Rather, we must protect our mineral resource from foreign exploitation. So those things he was talking about made him eventually become a threat. So in 1966, his government got overthrown in the first military revolution in Ghana. It happened when he had taken a trip abroad. So whilst he was out of Ghana, conveniently, there was an overthrow of his government. So he had to go into exile in a country called Guinea, also in West Africa, where he was accepted and made co-president. That's where he lived till he fell sick. They took him to Romania for treatment, where he then died of prostate cancer at the age of 63.
The most memorable part of this journey was the giveaway for St. Gregory's Hospital in Kaswa. A young lady delivered her son over 3 months ago, and thanks to Google Tours and Go Travel Chick, and some of us who traveled along this journey, we were able to help the young lady be able to be discharged from the hospital.
My name is Louise Divine. I'm 22 years old. I came to this Ghana January 14, and I met his father. So then we were just dating, and I got pregnant. He was not attending to me as usual, I will always be. So I left him and I came to Kaswa. So I said, okay, let me just start up my life afresh. Staying there, I did forced labor. It was a preteen baby. They have to take me to mother and child. They rejected me, and they took me to some hospitals. They rejected me. They said that they are going to take me to Poligo. I was like, I don't have that money. So they have to take me to Camp Hospital. So we were here for like so long. His father, I've been calling his father. His father has been picking my calls. Later on, he stopped picking my calls.
We are at St. Gregory's Hospital in Nkrumah, and one of the things that I'll say when we do trips together, myself and Corey, we always want to give back. And I think that's something that we have established very early on in our tours, right? We always have a place where we give back, whether it's for the blind, whether it's in Cape Coast for the children. And today we are here to donate to the children's ward. And the reason why I'm even more happy that we're donating to a children's ward, being a pediatric nurse, this is like, yes, the kids deserve it. I hope that this will go a long way for each of the children and the parents that can utilize these.
When you come to Ghana, you get so much. And I just feel like if you don't give, right, you just haven't done everything that you can do. I think that is the last little piece of taking this journey with us, is being able to give back because of what we get when we are here. So one other thing that Guba Tours always goes out of the way to think beyond, what the normal person might do. Just to show up, just for the pictures, just for the folks that we can touch really easy.
So on behalf of Go Travel Chick and Guba Tours and Guba Foundation, this is a donation to the hospital, especially for the children's ward. So we donate it to you.
I wish to say thank you on behalf of management. We say thank you very much to Guba Foundation for being here with us on this day. Children are a group of vulnerable in society. And anyone who remembers the vulnerable, God himself remembers that person.
Amen.
And we are very excited to have you in our midst today. Our doors are always open for gestures like this. We entreat all civil society and all organized, the corporate society, to emulate this nice gesture, giving back to society, especially the vulnerable. We are very excited. We want to assure you that this donation will get to the intended users.
Amen. Thank
the
you.
The last drop of anything here will get to the intended group.
Thank you.
For which this donation was intended.
Thank you.
You very much.
Thank you. Great.
Christmas into na ya waha. Obi a di ni die wo fie ba ye decide say ne ye ndi ye die wo fie be di ye die waha. Nti ya waha ye kita ye nsem ni o makakra bi. Say and ye fama na unso hu say anya say wo yare nti no you are neglected. Minim say na meka na otwi. But yes ye dwen mo ho. Aha nti na ene ya ba ha me. Nti ya wo pampers kakra. Ya wo washing powder kakra. Yeah, well, seminar so oh, yeah, definitely, and thank you.
on behalf of the mothers here, we are saying a big thank you to you. We are so, so grateful for such a wonderful love that you are showing to us. In fact, seeing your loved ones at home celebrating and you are here, we are so grateful. Thank you.
Is it a boy or girl?
A boy.
It's a boy? What's his name? So should I give you a name? Oh my God. You know, I always want to give traditional Ghanaian names. And I've already named that name, but it's a name that's very special to me. Enijie. And joy, happiness. Despite that you're here, this is your joy. He will bring so much things in your life that you have never imagined. So even if it ends up being his middle name, his name to us is Enijie. And we're gonna pay for his hospital bill so that you can go home and look after him. God bless you. Well done. Well done. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Again, we're at St. Gregory Hospital, where we were able to visit the children's ward today. Not only were we able to bless all the mothers that were in the children's ward, the nurses that were there taking care of them, a doctor who is here, not just being a doctor, he's a doctor, the gynecologist, and the surgeon, all in one. But there was a mother that has been at this place for 3 months, not because she still needed care, not because her child was still sick, but because she could not pay her doctor's bill. We paid her hospital bill today, and guess what? She is going home with her precious baby today.
Thank you all. I don't know how to thank people because I'm really happy. I don't know how to even say it. If I reach home, I'm going to sleep like, oh.
Your face says it all. Thank you.
I'll dream good dream because my happiness today, I don't know how I want to say it. I think I'm from Nigeria and I'm not from Ghana, but I'm happy because this is only what I always say, that I will tell my child then. I'll say, this child is not for Nigeria, it's for Ghana. This Ghana baby then. Even though I go back, I'll still come back. Thank you all. God will so bless you and provide for you and guide you anywhere.
For these friends, Ghana wasn't just a destination, it has changed their lives forever.
I feel like the mother queen of Ghana in this outfit that I'm wearing today. It's beautiful, it's heavy, but it just makes me feel like I'm the queen of Africa. I don't want to take it off, but it helps me understand and respect the mothers and queens of Africa just by putting this on today. I would like to say thank you all for enlightening us, because we do need to come back and learn the history of Ghana, learn the culture, learn everything had I not been made aware by Global Tours, Go Travel Chick, I would not have known about this. I would not have had the opportunity. I would not have taken the opportunity to come over and have this experience. So I greatly appreciate it, and yeah.